Hey YouTube, welcome back. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Well, that's because it's wintertime out here. And it's either blacker than the inside of a goat's mouth or raining so hard that it sounds like a cow peeing on a flat rock, or both at the same time. Either way, it makes it really difficult to get any shooting done, and load development for that matter, until it starts to warm up in January a little bit. I'm just joking. It doesn't get any warmer in January. I've got time on my hands, so I have to find something to do with myself. Hey honey, it's the off season, and I was thinking...
That's nice.
With that out of the way, let's talk about Christmas. Christmas is coming, and for Christmas, I want to shoot better next year. So I have 5 things that I'm going to be doing during this downtime that's going to make me a better shooter next year. Item number 1 is dry fire. F-class and dry fire don't necessarily go together in most people's minds, because a rested rifle doesn't take a whole lot of handling to drive, right? Well, you'd be wrong if you thought that. You need to be able to handle the rifle properly and have all the right habit patterns to accomplish the mission every time you fire the rifle. Dry fire is the only way that you can instill habits into your shooting without expending a huge amount of ammunition and having a huge amount of setbacks in the process. Now, when I say instill habits, I mean instill habits. And habits can be either good or bad, so you have to be kind of careful about how you do this. If you want to know more about dry fire and how to do it properly and how to instill the habits you want without instilling habits that you don't, leave me a message below and I might make a video for you. Let's just put it this way. Dry fire has 2 key things that you want to do. One is maintain safety. That is first and foremost all the time, every time, even if you're doing dry fire on a live fire range. You have to do it safely. That means having a safe and proper backstop for the barrel, even though you aren't using ammunition. It's basic gun handling safety, and you need to exercise that every time you touch a firearm. The second thing is every dry fire session must have a learning objective. You have to have something that you are trying to accomplish with this session, or you are simply wasting your time. Trust me, I know. Number 2 on my list is sorting components and prepping brass for that matter. All of this time-consuming, eye-watering tasking that has to get done to get everything the way you want it for your shooting can get done now. When there's no shooting to be done, there's no time constraint, there's no schedule. You can just do it as you go. If you want to see about bullet sorting, well, once again, leave me a comment below. I might make a video for you. Number 3 on the list is to improve the animal. The animal is me, my body. Staying fit and being in shape, strong, and having a good, healthy cardiovascular system is incredibly important to being able to shoot well. If you are laying on the ground and your heart is thumping away at 120, you're going to have a harder time holding a very small group compared to if your resting heart rate is, say, 60 like mine. Now, there's many ways to do this, and I am not an exercise physiologist, so I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to tell you to visit with your doctor and make sure it's safe for you to exercise, and then find an expert in that field to teach you how to do it properly. I know I don't always do it properly, and I pay the toll when I do so. But you do need to be fit and healthy, and being healthy includes a healthy diet. Guys, I cannot overemphasize this, especially in the United States. We eat a bunch of food that is just total garbage. I'm not going to harp on this too long, but guys, look at what you're eating and look at what I eat. I am eating whole foods. There's no chemicals, no preservatives. You've heard this before. You don't need me to preach this to you. Eat healthy. It makes a difference in your shooting. Number 4 goes along with number 3, because a healthy mind goes along with a healthy body. Learning something new improves your neuroplasticity, and neuroplasticity allows you to deal with difficult decision-making circumstances. Like when you're trying to call the wind, when you're trying to decide whether to shoot or not as the wind changes, when you're trying to decide what the value is as the wind is changing. Well, that's all just a memory and mind exercise. You have to keep your mind healthy and functioning at its peak performance level, whatever that is. In order to do that, I do several things to help myself out. Puzzles are really great for improving your neuroplasticity. And reading, learning new things is really good for you. Not just for the thing you learned, but for the ability of your mind to learn new things. Because if you think about it, when you're shooting in the wind and you fire a sighter and see where it lands, you've learned something, that this value means this impact. Then it changes a little and you fire another sighter and you have this value is this impact. Well, when you put together 10 or 12 or 14 of those and you come up with a complete picture of what's going on with the wind, you have a much better chance of shooting a clean score. And that's the key to shooting well in the wind, is being able to function intellectually through the problem and make good decisions. That's all there is to it. It's very simple, if you ask me. Last but not least is number 5. Number 5 is that thing that people just fail to do all the time, and that's rifle maintenance. Now is the time of year to do that final rifle maintenance to make sure that everything on that rifle is perfect before next year. It's not time to just let it sit and deal with it in the spring. That means cleaning the trigger, making sure the barrel's clean, making sure everything is properly lubricated so it doesn't rust, and last but not least, change your striker spring. It's a $7 part. Even if it was $20, it would be well worth it to do. Because if the striker spring starts getting weak, starts changing tension, starts changing the amount of energy in the striker, the firing pin, you are going to see differences in your load. Trust me. I know how to make ESs that look like this. Yes, that's 50 shots with an ES of 16 and a standard deviation of less than 4. When I do the statistics on that particular string, I find that my standard deviation is going to have a confidence interval between 2.5 and 5 with a 99% confidence. That's huge. That is what creates those very small groups vertically at long range. Now, I will note that this particular load is well out of the node. It's actually in the scatter node, which is the subject for yet a different video. All right, guys, that's it for this one. What are you doing this winter to make yourself a better shooter when the spring shooting season starts again? And if you live south of 35th parallel, don't bother commenting because I know what you're doing. You're shooting more matches year round. I keep seeing results and feeling kind of jealous. Until next time.